I had a lot of experiences at night, at 3 a.m. nighttime, beings coming to my room, tunnels coming out of my chest, beings tapping me on the shoulder, amazing creatures, etheric, willowy beings speaking to me, and you're like, what's happening? Oh, I can tell you the story about the guinea pig. Yeah. So, with reference to what the other world brings us, people often, when people meet me, they have questions about what does it feel like to feel the other world? What does it look like to see the other world? What do these beings look like? So I've spent 17 years having otherworldly experiences, and not little ones, not things that you just shake your head and go, "What was that?" I have seen things now that absolutely blow my mind. You're up rubbing your eyes going, "Can't be happening," but it is, because that other world is right there. And the veil between us right now is so thin that there's a bleed through happening. Lots of people, if you've got the smallest amount of psychic abilities going on, you're like, "What's going on? What's going on? Did I just see that? What is that?" Because all our dials are being turned up, especially those of us that desire more, want to create, want to be God in form, right? So one of my stories is my son had a guinea pig. And I was really wrestling with the fact that here I am trying to bring love and light, and here I am trying to bring this to the world and teach people what I've learned, but I'm struggling. I'm struggling with human stuff. I'm sad, and I'm questioning myself. And am I a good person? Do I even know how to love anybody anymore? Because I've had my own hurts. And the more we get hurt, we shrink back, we close up our little heart fields, our energy bodies, what usually sit around 3 or 4 inches off our bodies, shrink back. And we start to say, "I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I'm not special. Nobody really loves me." How many people are going through that right now, especially in this isolation? I'm alone here. And the truth is, we're not. We're not alone. So anyway, I was going through a real rough period that I just felt I didn't have any love to give anybody. Like I just had barely enough for my kids and my own little spot and I was very guarded around. This is mine. I got to take care of it. And it's so human of us. Mine, mine, mine. I got to take care of it right here. Whereas the more we let go, the more we have. But we don't feel that in the moment. So I remember going to bed this evening. My son's guinea pig had died, and I was brokenhearted because he wasn't home and he couldn't be here. I was waiting for him to come home to tell him the little piggy had died. And I went to bed that night feeling just totally messed up. So anyway, about 3 o'clock, which is what I call the witching hour or the divine hour or whatever, it's like between 3 and 4 a.m. seems to be when the vibration of the planet really goes and it opens up and you're like, "Whoa, what's happening? We're not in Kansas anymore," So anyway, in my bedroom, I feel this little, push, little wake up. And I'm opening my eyes. My husband's sound asleep next to me. So I open my eyes and I'm like, "What's happening?" Because this happens all the time. And if somebody's waking me up in the middle of the night, I used to think it was a child. Now I'm like, "Who's here? Who's here? What are you trying to tell me?" So at the end of my bed, floating, like I would call like an apparition, more like a ghostly type of figure, because it didn't have very much density. It was very, I felt like I could kind of put my finger through it, but it was this very tall, willowy woman, and she was all white, and she had these silky robes that were kind of flowing. She reminded me of being in water. If the water was moving and your hair is in the water and everything's floating, but there was no water. It was at the end of my bed. And I said, "Who the hell are you?" There's no reverence. When I get a vision happening, there's no reverence or anything. It's like, "Who the hell are you? What are you doing here? What do you want?" It's 3 a.m. Anyway, she says, "I'm Twilight." And that was the guinea pig's name. And I started to cry, and I cried and I cried. And she told me, she said, "I want to tell you that I had to come back and tell you that you do have love. You're filled with love. You showed me a wonderful life here. You gave me compassion. You gave me love. I used to sneak down and give her treats, and I never wanted anybody to know I was soft. Heaven forbid, heaven forbid mom's down giving the guinea pig little rubbies and carrots, But I really didn't want anybody to know I was soft, because being soft or vulnerable made me a target. And I've already had enough of that. I didn't want to deal with that. So here is this little piggy come back to have this experience in etheric form and tell me you did love me. And I've come to tell you that you're full of love, and that we the beings see it. You're the one who doesn't see it. You're the one who's missing how much you have to give. And so she came back to share that with me. And I said, are all piggies otherworldlies? Like, is every little pig or every little cat or every little dog some sort of otherworldly being? Like, should I be down talking to them? And she chuckled and she said, no. She said, we usually come in cats. So I suspect this has got to do with Egypt. Cats were always revered as being beings in form, here to enlighten humanity. So she is here to enlighten humanity, but because we couldn't have a cat, they used the opportunity for the piggy. And the being was going to reside in the piggy instead of a cat. And you're like, okay, we're really crazy now. But beings have been showing up for 17 years. And this is just one of them that shows up. And I'm swatting at my husband saying, wake up! There's something in the bedroom. And of course, by this time, it's like, well, you just ask what it wants and go back to sleep.